Welcome, I'm Stefan Chapman, Vice President at EPC Consultants, and I'm happy to be joined today by Mr. Leon De Bruyn, President and CEO at Lummus Technology. It's always a great pleasure to be able to sit down with Leon, and today we'll be discussing the status of the decarbonisation of the downstream sector, also discussing how Lummus is embracing this transition, and also looking how Lummus Technology is playing a key role in helping the industry meet decarbonisation objectives. So, warm welcome, Leon. It's great to see you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me here, Stefan, and always good to sit down and have a good talk about our industry.
That's very much true. Just looking at the status where we are today with the industry and its efforts in decarbonisation, we see that it's accelerating. We're seeing in some region as well, we're witnessing a shift from maybe developing and adopting longer term, innovative, step-out technologies to more tweaking, more mature, immediate and scalable solutions. How do you believe the industry can best effectively manage the balance to drive forward profitable and scalable decarbonisation?
Yeah, Stefan, I think our industry needs both.
Yeah.
We need the long-term vision that drives the innovations that can start now, but will really materialize over a longer time. At the same time, we need to start moving now with what we have and what we can do today and make an impact already today. And we need both. Probably the longer-term technologies will have a more net positive impact. But the fact is, if we don't act now, we're missing the window of opportunity that we talked about this in COP28 and any other place.
Very much. I think it's a question of getting the balance right. I think that's the key.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Talking about, I think we're approaching this transition. It's making us change the way we work, I think. We've seen an increase in partnerships within the industry, very much so in recent years.
Yep.
Could you elaborate maybe on your personal experience, Lummus Technology, about the pivotal collaborations that you've been doing, which has helped accelerate innovation, technology development, and also what makes those particular partnerships successful?
Yeah, so Lummus Technology has partnerships in their DNA. We started with very few technologies and added to our portfolio mostly through partnerships, whether it's joint ventures, collaborations, or other types of partnerships. Biggest example, of course, is with Chevron, our Chevron Lummus Global joint venture in the clean fuels that started back in 2000. And we've added a lot of partnerships since. The beauty of those partnerships is if you have the right partners, both bring something unique to the table that in combination will accelerate innovation and implementation of these innovations. And I think today, even more so than in the past, implementing new technologies or tweaks of technologies hinges upon both the innovation itself as well as the adoption, and having the right partner, whether it's an operator or somebody that has a reputation in the market, can help accelerate that commercialization.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah. So, Stefan, maybe a sidestep, but for that purpose, we set up Green Circle in Lummus. Yep. And the pure vision of Green Circle is to create this launch pad of new technologies or improved technologies that are novel ideas in the market. And make sure that that launch pad not only is used for Lummus, but also for third parties, capitalizing on the infrastructure that we built up. And that creates other additional partnerships like Resynergy and the Braskem ethanol to ethylene collaboration.
Yeah, it's great to see people coming together, different ideas, different ways of thinking. And I think it helps innovation differently, coming from different angles, different partnerships. It's a good thing to see.
No one can do this by themselves. Yeah. Certainly not us, and I don't think anyone can. And by partnering, you bring skills and reputation together as well as new ideas. So, yes.
Yeah. Sure. But it's not only a question of partnerships. We're also seeing an increase in M&A activity. Maybe this is also something, I know it's something that Lummus Technology has been active. And how does that differ from the partnerships, and how is that helping also bring forward, accelerating this transition and also these decarbonisation efforts?
Yeah, if there is technologies that are mature and just naturally fit so well with our portfolio, we would look at bringing them into our fold. For example, we did this with the Zimpro technologies, water treatment technologies that Siemens Energy held. natural fit with our portfolio. Almost every process that there's either water consumption or production or spoil. And we feel it's our role to think broader, not just the process technology, but also ensuring that water stays clean or will be cleaned up within the process. So it's a natural fit, and that's an example where we would bring a technology in. Or if there's technologies that have been developed but are held by individuals or companies that don't have the market reach that Lummus has, there could be a natural fit. For example, we brought in the super absorbent polymer line. Great technology, much need, and our vision is to bring it to market together with our decarbonization thought, so that consumer products that are disposed after single use have a much better sustainable route to the production of those polymers.
Yes, and I think a key piece of the industry, I think you touched upon it, is definitely this energy transition is circular economy. I think there's a lot being said about circular economy, how we can adapt that, how we can implement it in different sectors. Lummus recently invested in Synergy, a pioneering leader in plastic recycling technology, and the company licenses plastic waste conversion technology based on thermal pyrolysis. Could you discuss how Lummus's approach to plastic recycling is going? Key attributes, I think, of the technologies and how they are advantageous, especially in terms of how they can be adapted, and also what is their role in the environmental impact, reducing that impact.
Yeah, so everybody will agree that waste, and specifically plastic waste, is an issue we must deal with, period. And it's already overdue. So we intentionally look at multiple paths to chemically convert plastic waste into hydrocarbons that can be then used. So we create a circularity, not just for the sake of hydrocarbon feedstock, but also for the sake of cleaning up plastic waste. We had already an existing path through pyrolysis with New Hope, which is a larger scale brute force pyrolysis in decomposing the plastic waste into hydrocarbons. That's been running for a while, and the products are circularly sold into the petrochemical industry. The second one that you mentioned is Synergy, that uses microwave. So we have a microwave reactor platform, which is suitable for smaller scale, and fills a need that we have. Converting plastic waste has a lot of logistical challenges. There's small pockets of waste collection that has to go across a long distance to monetize or convert it chemically. So if we can do it locally, and that has to be on a smaller scale, I think we have a better solution. And this is where microwave technology comes in. The Synergy innovation is proven, it's been tested at decent capacity, and so now we're bringing this in through partnership on Green Circle, using a launchpad. And hopefully we can fill that need that we see in the industry.
That's very interesting to hear. So smaller scale to be applied site to site specifically for.
So think of communities really. So this is the tons to 20 tons scale, for example, where communities have to deal with that waste, but it's extremely uneconomical to truck it or ship it far away. So think of islands, think of remote communities that want to be self-sufficient. And by converting it back into diesel or other useful hydrocarbons, you don't have the logistics of the plastic waste, plus you don't have the logistics of those hydrocarbon products.
No, that sounds very interesting, very promising. Finally, thinking about immediate objectives. Because sometimes as an industry, we can become distracted by longer term objectives. We hear a lot about 2050, the timeline, and also that entails bigger and maybe shinier, more shiny projects. What can be done today? Because it's great seeing long term, but we've got to start today. We've got to start maybe smaller, but how can we reduce energy demands and also our Scope 1 emissions?
Yeah, so the shiny long-term projects are always safe because it takes a long time to materialize. But really, I think there should be much more focus on what can we do here and what can we do now. And I think Lummus, as well as the whole industry, has a responsibility to drive that. And the COP28, I think, was really clear we have to act now, and I really like that outcome of COP28. There's an enormous infrastructure asset base for the petrochemical industry, and we cannot afford to abandon that asset base. We wouldn't have our quality of life that we have today. But at the same time, we must make it more sustainable.
Yes.
And so I look at our path forward in three segments. The long term is one, and 20 years from now, a lot of the long-term technologies will be available and will help a more sustainable availability of energy products. But the new investments, as well as the existing asset base, have to depend on the technologies that are matured or maturable today. So new investments will only be sanctioned if they are using proven technologies. So the proven technologies have to be decarbonized rapidly. Think of electrification, think of smarter heat integration, combination of processes to avoid heating up and cooling down, wasting utilities, really wasting hydrocarbons, and also the existing asset base. There, if we can make 1% improvement across the board, and you have to realize the asset base has been built up over 50 years or more, that is the equivalent of 50% replacement by new technology. So there's an enormous advantage we can make, and we have to act now. And what we are doing as Lummus is we're looking at existing plants and either make them more economical, certainly make them more sustainable, and redirect products from the traditional fuel base to petrochemicals and polymers. So our collaboration with Aramco, for example, in crude to chemicals, another collaboration that Lummus has together with CLG and Aramco, does exactly that. We use it as a potential deployment for new investments to much more efficiently and sustainably produce polymers eventually from crude, but at the same time look at existing plants and see if we can put it as an add-on and cut out a lot of the refinery operations.
Yeah, it's very important, I think, to explore those routes fully. I think look at the asset base we've got now, work on those, make those more efficient, like you say. And I think if we get that right and we look to the longer term as well, I think we're on the right track. So
yeah, you said it at the start, it's all about balance. I think ESF is a nice balance across those three mindsets. Long term, we know where we have to go, but it takes time and effort, and we must put that in. Immediate term is taking the asset base and how can we convert that, and midterm, new investments. And there's going to be plenty of new investments to satisfy the growing demand. And we have a role to play across all three.
Definitely. So thank you very much, Leon. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be able to discuss with you on how the industry is evolving. And we're looking forward at our next events, our upcoming events, hearing a lot more from your team on what Lummus is doing in helping the industry move forward. So thank you all.
Look forward to it.
Thank you very much, Leon. Thank you.